Welcome to the Fret Friends Podcast, a guitar and music podcast here to instruct, inform, and showcase. Fret Friends is a podcast from AP Guitar, a music tuition business established in 2012, which provide lessons, workshops, and courses to students all over the world. So here's your host, Adam Picard.
Yes. Hello, welcome back, or welcome for the first time to Fret Friends, the podcast by AP Guitar. I'm your host, Adam. This is Season 1, Episode 9, How to Get Out of a Rut. I hope everyone is feeling productive and feeling fresh about their guitar playing, but if not, you are certainly at the right podcast and the right episode. Now, not all of these examples or exercises will work at the same time. These are basically separate ideas. What will work now may not work in the future, and vice versa. Let's get going. Number 1, set small, achievable goals. I often, every now and then, I'll have a student that will say, I'll have that by next week. I'll have the whole solo by next week. I'll have the whole song down by next week. I'm going to come in and play it to you. Look, I love that. I love the enthusiasm. I really do. And who am I to say, no, you won't? Because that's terrible. But what's going to happen when it gets to the day before your next lesson and you still haven't got the solo down? You're going to feel like you have failed. And you haven't failed. It was an unrealistic goal. If you said, I'm going to learn the first 8 bars, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're actually going to sit down with your guitar and you're going to do it because it feels more achievable. 2, once you do achieve it, you're going to think, excellent, great, I'm going to move on to the next bit now. And it's a journey. Learning that whole solo, it's not about just learning the whole thing straight away. Plus, it's not going to sound as good, because you're going to put more focus on those 8 bars for that 1 week than you're going to put on those 8 bars if you just went for the whole solo in 1 week. Excellent. All right. Number 2, track progress. Of course. Anyone who has lessons with me knows that I make notes within and or after every single lesson. I'm not writing about you, and I'm not writing about how their week was. I'm writing down what we've done, exactly what we've done, what tempo we're playing an exercise at, how I've asked you to learn and practice the arpeggios, which key we improvised in, which bar we're up to within your song study, which technique was new for us. This is me tracking your progress. This is what you can also be doing at home. Number 3, change it up. Why? Well, you may think, where am I going with this? I'm stagnant. I'm learning, but I'm not really learning anything new. I'm learning new songs, but I'm not actually progressing as a guitar player with techniques. One of my answers for this, and I love this, and I love it when it happens occasionally, is when a student's been playing for a long time and they decide that they want to start learning a grade. Normally, I don't, how do I say it? I don't really say to people, you should learn a grade. If this was a classical instrument, okay, yes, that's how you do it. But I do teach grades. I've always taught grades, and I have many students who love working through them, and it's a lovely thing to do. You take your exam and you pass and you get your feedback, and it's tried and tested, isn't it? But when a student doesn't come from that background, perhaps they're a little bit older, for example, and they've just been playing for fun and they've been working through essentially my syllabus, but they want something slightly different, then we start a grade, and it's brilliant. They know exactly what they need to do, and they have that end goal. There is that exam in the pipeline. You then buy the new book and you continue on, and it's structured in that way that is more of a formal and official way. We like doing things like that. We like having something to work towards. Number 4, this is one I always say: play for fun, no pressure. Why do you need to learn something new this week? You can have a week every now and then where you don't. You play for fun. This is for you at home when you're practicing. Why do you need to learn something? We don't every week. Every week we do not need to progress. You'll find comfort in playing something that you already know. You play the same song along with a backing track. You'll play it slightly different. You'll be relaxed because you've played it many, many times, and you may even incorporate something new into that song. Having no pressure is brilliant, and it will trigger off other things as well. If you're playing for fun and you have no pressure, when the time is right and it feels natural, you may then go, okay, now I want to learn this. So it's removing the pressure and just playing for fun. We all need to do a bit more of that every now and then in a world and lifestyle, which is you must learn always. Number 5, create a routine. This is why I said at the start that these aren't all of these ideas will not work for one person at the same time. You will choose one of these, maybe 2 for now, right? So this is create a routine. I do this in my life with other things, right? Not to get too deep into my personal life, but there are certain tasks around the house that are my jobs. Now, if I say to myself I'm going to do them once a week, who knows when that's going to be? And I don't like that because I need to know that I have enough time. So my certain tasks, which I'll keep to myself, are done on, a Sunday evening is one of them. A Wednesday morning is another one. They're written in my diary. This is good for me. This is how my brain works. This makes me feel comfortable knowing that everything is going to get done in the week because I have a routine. Do this with your practice. You could say every Thursday night, every Tuesday night, every Saturday, 3 times a week. Or you go further than that. You say it's every day, but it's at this point within my day. It's in the morning before anyone's woken up. How wonderful would that be? Wake up before anyone else in the house, go downstairs, make yourself a coffee, get your guitar out and practice and wake everyone up. No. How lovely would that be? So that's another one, right? You find the time in your day that becomes the routine. Number 6, celebrate milestones. This is lovely as well. Think when you first start playing guitar, you learn some open chords, you learn strum patterns. What do? We try and put them together and we try and change chord and it goes horribly wrong for a bit. That really there, being able to change chords while strumming, that is really the first milestone. Once you have that actually unlocks the ability to play thousands of songs. The chords will be slightly different within the songs and the strum patterns will be slightly different within these songs as well. But that's a milestone. That's the first one that you really get. Celebrate that. However you want to celebrate it. At the very least, make a note that you have crossed that off the list and you are on to the next point. Maybe it's about knowing what these milestones are. If you're a student of mine currently, let me know if this is something that you want to do. And based on where you're at, we will create your next milestone and we will let it be known to you. And then we can celebrate it when it comes up. You can take me out for a beer. Right, number 7, remind yourself why you're doing this. Well, first of all, you have to have the reason why you started playing guitar. Why did we start playing guitar? Me, I'm not going to lie to you. It was almost forced upon me to play an instrument by my mum, who I'm very, very close with. But I had piano lessons. I absolutely did not get on with my piano teacher at all. And I begged my mum to let me stop having lessons. I came out of the lesson once. I said, Mum, I can't do this. God, what a privileged upbringing. Mum, I can't do this anymore. And she said, well, you need to play an instrument. So what are you going to play then? I said, oh, no, a guitar. Okay, you'll start guitar next week. And she rented me a guitar. That's right, people. Rented me a guitar. That's how little faith she had that I was going to continue. I think the deal was if you purchase the guitar at the end of the 3 months that you rent it, you get the rent money back or something like that. It was brilliant. I love that guitar, and I loved lessons. I loved my teacher. I had lessons for about 9 months to a year. The only lessons I've ever had, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was, I can clearly, safely say that it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life, was having that push from my mum to say, you know what, you need to play an instrument. Mothers always know best. Anyway, why did you, ask yourself this question now, why did you start playing guitar? What made you pick up the guitar to start with? If you can answer that, then you can clearly remind yourself of that. Was it just to learn a new skill? Was it because you like the way it sounds? Remind yourself why you're doing it. Every now and then we have to. Number 8, surround yourself by inspiration. What does that mean? It means listen to music. It means go and watch music, go and watch live music. If nothing else, every local town has an open mic night or potentially a jam night. There's that. You could do that, right? Surround yourself with it. What else can you do? You can go and buy yourself... Oh, this makes me sound old. You can go to HMV and you can go and buy yourself a new CD. Do you have a CD player, though? Go and buy yourself a new vinyl. It's probably more likely people have vinyl players these days. Listen to a new playlist on Spotify. Type in guitar playlist on Apple Music. I'm going to do it right now, actually. I've got Apple Music open. Does this even work? Guitar playlist, or am I about to just mess this whole thing up? Okay, so the first thing that's come up is a Billie Eilish record called Guitar Songs. Well, that's lovely. Of course, that's going to come up to start with. Here's another one, guitar playlist, Guitar Jazz Club, guitar playlist, guitar. I mean, you know what I'm getting at. Type in rock gods of the 70s, something like that. Get inspired. Remember when you listen to a song these days, at the end of it, it always puts you onto another one that sounds similar or is by a similar artist. Ask someone, ask a friend, who have you been listening to lately? Ask a guitar player that you know, one of your friends who plays guitars. Who do you listen to? Who have you listened to lately? Who's inspiring you lately? Number 8, I'm not sure why I wrote this one, but this is the last one, and I am going to talk about it with being painfully aware that I'm probably being fairly hypocritical here, but this podcast is not really for me. It's for people who are listening. Why am I on the verge of shaking while saying this? Number 8, deactivate social media. Oh my gosh. Why? Because we compare ourselves. We compare ourselves constantly. If you're doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and you're going through YouTube shorts, whatever, and you're going round and round seeing all these brilliant guitar players who, by the way, are good at playing guitar for Instagram, it doesn't mean that they're good at playing songs the whole way through. It doesn't mean that they're good at the techniques that you're good at. Wow, he's playing a really flashy guitar solo. Okay, but can he play a G chord? All right, that's a bit silly, but you see what I mean here. People are only going to put out what they want the world to see. And with Instagram and social media, you have to think about the attention span that people either have or are willing to give to a video. You've basically got to give them everything within the first few seconds. Otherwise, that's it. Game over. So they're going to play the flashiest stuff. If you're watching that over and over and over, your guitar's sitting in the corner of your room, just staring at you, saying, what are you, come over here. Listen, mate, come over here, pick me up and play me. And you're like, no, I can't, because I'll never be as good as these people. And your guitar's saying, no, that's rubbish. Deactivate your social media and come over here. Well, listen to your guitar. Just be with your guitar and be kind to yourself. And with that, that ends season 1. Where are we? Episode 9 of Fret Friends, how to get out of a rut. Now, if you're interested in learning more about my guitar lessons, workshops, courses, you can email me on contact@apguitar.co.uk. You could also send us a text through the show notes. Social media, Instagram, if you haven't deactivated yours yet, is at AP Guitar Guru. So is TikTok. YouTube is at AP Guitar TV. I think that is everything. I believe. I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week will probably be the last episode of this season. Season 2 will be just around the bend once I get all my ideas together. Right, I'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care, stay safe, and have fun.